that was good. I enjoyed that bit. I think what was tricky, reflecting on yesterday, was the movements required a lot of mental focus, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So you were doing, cardio wise fine, and I could just do the activities, but actually mentally, I was like, right, what have I got to try and achieve here? What am I trying to not do? What am I technique wise? What am I trying not to do? So I think it's one of these things you try it for the first time, and it's really, really hard. Once you do it a few times, it becomes easier because mentally you know what to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's like whenever I give someone a new workout, they're always a bit, I don't know, conscious, but they're just like, right, okay, whenever I design one myself, I'm like, well, shit, I've got to do that. How much rest time am I having? But the first time you do anything is always going to be that little bit trickier, mate, to be honest. But I
Yeah,
think it's that, it's keeping the
it was
brain and the body guessing and be like, right, okay, let's go this one, that one. Maybe getting out all the equipment might be a little bit trickier and to
yeah.
obviously be in the same location. But I tried, I can always alter it.
No, I think it was fine. I just, yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought both Matilda and I enjoyed it. It was, she didn't do what I did. She did a bit less than me, but I think it was just fun. It was fun doing new things as well. So that was the other side of things. I think next time I'm just going to go in there a bit more prepared. I think I just did it without really thinking, which is probably not the right way of going about it, especially with someone like me, like to be prepared. And yeah, I think it was good fun. It was really good fun. Luckily, we'd practiced the single arm ones before because then I knew what the weight was going to be. Because naturally, I would have probably gone lighter, and I went quite heavy. I went to 24 kilos, which
Okay.
which again made me, I was panting, obviously. So that was a good little session.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, you've been training for years, myself included, and then it's just one of those things where you just like, right, if I have to do pull-ups, squats, and what have you, and they're all fantastic, and it's great to keep it, um, so your body guessing, but also just making sure that it's keeping it interesting a little bit
Mm.
without going too mad. Then yeah, the first time's always quite tricky, but after that, mate, you'll smash it.
It's like
Um,
it's like the glute bridge thing. I remember
on
doing
the
it, and
Swiss
I was,
ball, how do you find
yeah,
that? Yeah,
really challenging. Like the core is sort of, you're trying to do it. You've just come out of doing something else, and then that was the challenge. I think that was the one which sort of, I was like, fucking hell, this is harder than it looks, sort of thing.
I don't want to make it too easy for you, Andrew. Now,
I
well,
know, it's good. It's good. I think I know now what to expect.
yeah,
So now that was really good. Look, the hollow rocks, yeah, that was good. Inverted barbell row, that was fine. Single arm press, that was okay. Rowing machine, yeah, that was intense. But no, it was good. Right, on to this interview. How do you want to play it? So you're just gonna how do you want to intro? We're just gonna go straight in, or do you want some
Hmm.
chatter?
Yeah. I mean, I think we just go straight in. To be honest, I'll just ask you the first question. You just kind of throw it out, and um, yeah, as I say, this thing will obviously it gives me like a transcript, so I can just go in and just delete out the bits that we don't need. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. But I suppose like what I wrote, I mean, it was just the feedback that you gave me, and I was just trying to be like, right,
Yeah,
a bit of emotion
perfect.
in there, but then um, also just in the back of my mind thinking, well, it's got to be obviously is your testimonial, but it's when it's appealing to other people, they're like, well, I've never done a bloody, you know,
Yeah,
crushing the Marmot and doing 177 bloody kilometers up in the French Alps. Like, I've got no chance. This isn't for me. Whereas they'd be like, oh, well, you can be with anything in terms of our
mm,
mindset around nutrition, around losing a bit of weight, a bit of timber. So it's focused on you, but then it's broadened a little bit for the average Joe to be like, shit, Andrew's not me, but what he's saying is it does include me as well.
well, I think that's where I wanted to tee up the start. I wanted to tee up the fact that we've all been brought up um, in some sort of aspects around activity and sport, and I'll take it back. So I remember sitting on the side of a hockey field watching my old man play. You know, he did that because it made him happy. At the end of the week, that was his way of sort of seeing his friends socially. And we're on the same sort of position. We want to do things that mentally stimulate us to be happy. And, you know, I was playing rugby in London. I was cycling, running triathlon to be happy. And a lot of people need to be happy by doing these sort of activities. It sort of stimulates us to then perform as well at our day job because we feel mentally stimulated. So I was going to start off by, starting like that, basically.
Yeah. I mean, you can call back on that. That's fine. So to say, do you think, I'm going to ask you some pretty stupid questions, but it's obviously for a tee up, right? So
Yeah.
I suppose, do you think that some people, when you say happiness, do you mean obviously just kind of create more in their life to have more activities to socialize with other people? Like,
Yeah.
do you think that's important to have, especially if you live in London or anywhere in the world? Do you think that's important to have one in one's life?
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna should we start again? But yeah, I
Yeah,
think
mate.
that
This is all recording on one go, so don't worry, mate. Like, so we can just speak openly and candidly, and I can just drop bits out. So that's all good.
okay. Let's start again. So you got it from thing, but yeah, that's where I'm probably gonna go down, and then you can just pile in the questions, and I've got your script here that I'll pretty much follow in terms of context and stuff like that. Just put it into my own words, so it doesn't sound like I'm reading.
No worries, that's cool. Just see if I can hide. I mean, my note taker is obviously the best part about this, and then it's the recorder. But I'm just thinking if I can hide it, but it's not really it's not really that important.
I think can we hide do more?
Put in waiting room, remove, report, rename.
You
No,
like
I think it's just maybe just leave it.
wait, hold on. No, I can't. I think if anyone, you can do that sort of things. It's a shame. Yeah, we can't get me and you full screen. Trying to
Yeah, I
think.
mean, well, what I can do is I can still record it. This is just a note taker because really, it'd just be useful because then I can hyphen through it on the note taker and know which bits to come into. Whereas if
How
I just
about
press record, then it might be 40 minutes and I'll be like, oh shit, which bit was which. Do you see what I mean? So
yeah? Can you put at the top right it says view.
yeah,
Try that. You've either got the speaker option or you've got hide non-video participants. Try
yeah. I mean,
selecting hide non-video participants because that may mean that whoever's not on video is.
because yeah, this is it. Show, show, and then not. So basically, I've just got a big view of you at the moment, which is absolutely fine. But I
Yeah.
suppose gallery.
I think exactly. Just have us at the top. So
Immersive. Yeah, what's that? Gallery immersive. Hide self view. No, that's just me, the note taker. Full screen. No.
I think it's speaker. Go on speaker view, and I think that's probably the best way. And then when I speak, do I pop up?
Yeah, you do. And then basically, yeah, I've now got just you, and then I've got a little trifecta of me, the note taker, and yourself. So I mean,
Yeah.
you're the star of the show, mate. So might as well.
I think let's keep that. Perfect.
Okay. All right. I'm just going to have the questions in the background.
Did he gum drop?
It's just going to show up when I record. Maybe. Whatever.
No, because I won't see your screen. We won't be able to see your screen. We'll just be able to see you. So if you've got notes, it's like I got your notes next to me.
Yeah.
so you won't be able to see that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's give it a go, mate. All right, Andrew. Thank you for taking the time to do this. This is just just to ask you a couple of questions about how coaching's gone for you, and a bit of training history in the background of what's worked, and yeah, just give us a little bit of a brief background into you. What's your name and where do you come from?
Well, Dan, thanks for having me on today. And yeah, we've been working together for a few months now, so I think this is important. But yeah, background wise,
Yeah,
I think all of us are stimulated by activities. I grew up watching my father playing sport on the weekends. He was playing hockey. We played it at school. We didn't want to ever stop having that stimulation of playing some sort of sport, recreational, professionally, whatever it might be. And, after university, I definitely carried that on in London, played rugby, moved on to triathlon, and now cycling. So it's all about stimulation. It's all about performance. If I work hard on the weekends and an activity I do, it means actually I'm mentally stronger to perform better at work. So yeah, in a nutshell, just love training, love sport. It just keeps me mentally happy.
good stuff. And then what was the kind of the next step when you got into work, and we're all in our wonderful late 30s. What do you do now to stimulate yourself? Like what does your sort of like the week look like? How did you kind of form it around your life?
Yeah, well, it comes back to preventing injury. I'll be honest with you, because a lot of my time is sat in a chair. It's everyone. It's not 9 to 5 these days. Everyone is extremely busy. They're time poor. It's the 8 till 8. If you think about it, with kids, everything that's going on, and you've got to fit in that mental stimulus, that training, that activity around those necessary bits in your life. So, my week getting up, and it's a case of doing the hard graft, getting my steps in at lunch in the morning, and then I'm absolutely take myself away to do an activity most evenings. It may be in the gym, it may be on the bike, it may be going for a run, but I think that activity stimulates me to feel happy in myself, and and that also means that I can tee up key targets during the year. Like I enjoy cycling these days, so I do 4 or 5 events per year, and knowing that I do this foundation training helps me know that I can go into these sort of events, so to say, around the summer for cycling, that in a way that I will perform and also um, stop myself from getting injury.
And what do you think if you apart from the injuries, like what would happen to you? Do you think if you didn't do any sort of activity or any training or look after yourself nutritionally? What do you think would happen?
Good question. I think personally, I would burn out first and foremost. It's a weird thing to say. Doing activity, surely that means that you're more likely to burn out. No, it takes my mind away from work. It gives me a sense of gratitude, which again is the dopamine in my mind, which helps me then to go into, like I said, the next day of work, which is most taxing, in a mindset of happiness, which really helps me. And it means also I get to the weekends and I'm like looking forward to something. So there's always that mental mindset of having these activities in your life to look forward to something, to stimulate us, to then mean that we perform better, or we work harder, or we go into looking after the kids in a much more positive frame of mind.
Understood. And then what sort of happened for you to sort of go down this coaching sort of avenue, should we say? What event happened within in the last sort of 6 months or year for you to go wake up and smell the coffee and go, right, okay, I need to take it to the next level?
Yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
it was an interesting. It was 2022. Signed up to quite a huge event for me. Normally I just do small cycling events in the UK, but I set the challenge of trying to do one of these big Gran Fondo days in the Alps, which consisted of 12 hours in the saddle, going up and down sort of 3 or 4 mountains, very taxing on the body. And I was going into it with the unknown, but I had said to myself I had physically prepared. But unfortunately, what I hadn't prepared for was that mental side of things and the strategy behind how does one go and complete a 12-hour cycling race. And unfortunately, I hadn't prepared in things of what the conditions would be like. So I finished the race, but not with a smile on my face. And unfortunately, I suffered heat stroke halfway around. Luckily, I had a great friend of mine who was very supportive. And, I can't remember the last four hours of that race, but I went round it in the unknown, and it scared me. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just stop and not do these sort of things again. I need to be prepared, much more prepared, and I need support. I need the tools around me to support me in being able to complete this, knowing again that I'd be time poor. And that mentality of that psyche of having something around you to help you was key. So hence why I came to you. I said, Dan, I'm not going to not do something like this again just because of that scare. It was a slight bit of PTSD, so to say. I needed support basically, and hence why I came to you, and this is where we are today.
Good stuff. So since we've been coaching now, gosh, since June, so a good 6 or 7 months, what sort of results have you seen?
Everyone thinks that they're going to get a coach and become big, fit, strong, or stronger, so to say. That's part of it. I would say that's a small part. It's actually the mentality. The mentality is key. It's like everything that we do, we get coached to be mentally stronger, so that yes, you can then physically become stronger, but also mentally have the stimulus to be much more accountable for what you do. And you've got someone behind you who can support you. I talked about in that last part about the strategy behind tackling an event. I think that's so important. There's always a lot of unknowns. And when you've got someone to bounce ideas off with their technical expertise in terms of nutrition, in terms of training, in terms of, how do we get over the obstacle, that is a real sort of bit of peace of mind that I was then going into the next event, feeling a lot sort of mentally stronger, feeling a lot more prepared. So, in actual fact, having you behind me is felt like I haven't been attempting things with one arm tied behind my back, so to say. I've got someone else who's an expert in the field of nutrition and fitness to ensure that I'm tackling everything in the right way.
And what made you, arrive at that decision? Was it because of, historic events where you hit the wall? And also, do you think that a lot of people, shall we say, get in their own way of being like, no, it's fine, I'll be fine for the next one, it'll be okay, and they just the keep calm, carry on mentality? You were just kind of sick of it. You just wanted to try, obviously, something different to kind of really expand and really kind of better yourself, and yes, be a better person and a better athlete.
Yeah, I think I'll be honest with you. Like myself, a lot of people going through that trauma of that event, so to say, wouldn't have done it again without the support. And that was the thing. I wasn't ready to sort of just stop. I wanted to give it another go. So, we this year, sorry, time flies. We did it again. But before we get to those sort of results, the reason is because I wanted to actually carry on with the things that I enjoy. I like my cycling. I like my training. I like going to the gym. It helps me perform. So I wasn't ready. And a lot of people are in the same way, but they don't know how to get there. I wasn't ready to sort of give up. So it was all about taking accountability and you supporting with me that accountability, going, absolutely, we can do that again, with using the right mindset, using the right nutrition. And then look, what happened? We went into that event. I sort of looked for your support around 12 weeks out. I came to you and I said, Dan, got the event in 12 weeks. This is what happened last year. I think that I need to drop a ton of weight to be able to then complete this event, because cycling, naturally, the lighter you are, the easier it is. You turned around and said, no, we've only got 12 weeks. We've got to make sure that you are mentally in the right way to perform. You're physically in the right position. We don't need to drop weight. It's all about you and how you mentally go through this challenge so that you come through it with a smile on your face. So I think we set that challenge, and the results were that, yes, better time, and I had a smile on my face, and I can actually remember the event, which was hugely important to me, because now it means that I can go on to the next one.
Yeah, that's great news. I mean, do you think that people, go into, if it's just, I don't know, trying to get 3 workouts in a week, something very basic, or getting, having smarter nutrition and better choices, do you think people don't have a smile on their face, and do you think they just go through the kind of the ring roads because it's life and that's what they need to do?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I learned with you very quickly was protein levels. Something really, really simple. My protein levels weren't at the levels that I could actually do these sort of things at. So that's something that would have definitely hindered my performance in the past, and actually hindered my work performance as well. Having a set level of protein and just doing these small tweaks to a diet made me physically and mentally feel happier and actually perform better. So nutrition-wise, we did some great little tweaks. It wasn't drastic changes, to be honest with you. It was tiny little things to help me, and actually eating more was actually quite a nice thing out of it. It didn't mean that I put on weight, but it meant that I went into the activity a lot stronger, and therefore I performed better and got a lot more out of it. So it ended up actually losing weight because I could perform better. And then absolutely, it was the accountability side of things. As we've talked about, it's having that session with you every week to go, how do we plan, given that we've got everything around us in our lives, we can't be moved, kids, work, how do we plan this so that it doesn't feel like a chore? We do it, we plan, and we get the maximum out of it in the shortest amount of time. So that accountability was key. And then the mindset side of things is like 100% dark days. 100% there's dark days in everyone's life, and you're like, I really can't be bothered to get on the bike, or I really can't be bothered to go to the gym. Now, having you there just on the shoulder, just saying to me, right, look, this is why we're doing this. Remember why we're trying to achieve these goals. And yes, it's not going to be a perfect performance line through the year. It's going to peak and trough. That's absolutely normal. But the key is the overall big picture. What are we trying to achieve over the course of 12, 10, 12 months? And that has really kept me in the mindset of, even on these dark days, just get out and do it. Just get out, go to the gym, whatever it might be, get on that indoor trainer, just to then stimulate you afterwards and the next day to do it all over again.
That's good. Okay, perfect. And so, how do you feel now in comparison to when you did, I suppose, prior to the coaching, like, in terms of, yourself, just your own well-being and vitality?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's completely different. I'll be honest with you. In terms of, we talked about nutrition wise, small changes have made dramatic differences, which has been really nice. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, wow, I look physically fitter and stronger, but I'm still doing, if not more than a year ago in terms of work, juggling everything else in life. So physically, I'm feeling good. I also mentally know that if I've got something that just pops up, like for example, in a few weeks' time, I'm just going to be tackling a little bit of a cycling event on a weekend. I'm not worried about it. In the past, I'd always have to gear myself up and, how do I get mentally and physically prepared for an event? These days, I can just go into something and I'm not afraid. I'm not absolutely afraid to do it because I know I've got the foundation prep in place.
Yeah.
And I've got that to help me. I've got that by you helping me put me in that sense of focus and direction so that I'm not afraid of doing these things anymore.
Good stuff. And does that also include when it comes to making better choices when because you do a lot of traveling for work? So obviously when we said we do calls and we go through your diaries, being able to know that you've got a lot of Christmas parties come up, but you can have your cake and eat it, right? There is a possibility if it's just a case of just being mindful and aware of putting things in the diary, even in small chunks, just to make you feel better. So then you can enjoy the better times and not feel guilty, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it comes, we all at work get told to time box, and we have to time box these things that mentally stimulate you. So, you and I have gone through the next couple of weeks. It's a tall order traveling around the country for work and visiting partners, clients, and celebrating Christmas. But also, we need time for ourselves because actually, again, I don't want to be in a position on that Thursday morning feeling too tired, too sort of jaded from the night before. So we need to be putting in that structure to help me get through the day. And that is all about sort of getting to the gym, doing something small, and maybe just getting out on a morning and just doing a number of steps or just doing a small little sort of 2 to 3K run to help them go and tackle the next day. And then come out of the week going, you know what, even though it was a heavy week from a celebration point of view, I've actually able to achieve something around that means that haven't chucked everything away, all that training I've done in the past. So you've definitely sort of helped me focus on time blocking areas in my diary, which previously I would have just blocked up with, it might be sleep, or it might have just been actually getting another meeting. So thank you for doing that.
You're very welcome. Okay. And then I suppose lastly, if you were going to, speak to a friend or a colleague from work and you were having similar conversations with them about, you know, doing some coaching or whatever it may be, at least, sort of entertain the question or the idea, what would you say to them?
Do it now, first and foremost, because it's silly waiting. I mean, you can wait and you can have a scare like me, but I wouldn't recommend it going through that. And it might not be a scare an event. It might be actually your health. You might go through a scare from a health point of view, and you haven't changed your diet, or you've just been sort of not able to do some sort of physical activity. Just the return on investment for Dan is huge because what you're getting is someone to actually motivate you on a weekly basis to actually go and do the activities that you used to love to do to then succeed and you actually perform much better. So through having you, I'm actually stimulated much more work wise, relationship wise, absolutely as well. I bring in my other half with me doing these sort of things when we can, and she loves them as well. So I think just don't wait. Just have a go at your Dan's trial, and that really taught me a lesson of what I'm slightly missing out. From a nutrition point of view, from an activity point of view, from a planning point of view. Dan actually does this all for you. So at the end of the day, you don't really have to do a lot. But what you have to do is go in there going, you know what? I'm doing this for myself to be happier, to prevent myself injury, and not to go through that scare. So it's hugely important to you. It's hugely important to your body and also your friends and family around you, because if you're mentally stimulated, you'll be a lot happier in life. So yeah, Dan, you've helped me absolutely. I know you've got lots of other clients who've taken a lot from your support, and there's a lot of people out there who need your support because we're all comfortable, but we're all going down that same road of potentially doing ourselves injury by not looking after ourselves. So thank you for your support with me.
You're very welcome. All right, good man. I was going to ask about a future goal, but I think, yeah, I suppose and just a snippet to finish off with. What's the next goal? What's the next step?
Yeah, I mean, we have, well, you've helped me obviously achieve that goal of doing that Alps race again, and we achieved those great results. We're going to go to the Pyrenees together, and I'm going to go off and try the same sort of race in the Pyrenees. I've also lined up sort of 5 or 6 cycling events already to prepare myself for that. And I'm going in there with confidence, even though it's a new race, it's unknown, it's going to be challenging with, there's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of molehills, so I like to say. But I know that physically and mentally, I know what preparation I need to do to actually achieve that. And, that's down to you helping me carve up that race from a nutrition and mindset point of view over the summer. And we're going to use that same theory, that same strategy into this one next summer. So really looking forward to it. And actually that sense of sort of worry has disappeared because you've taught me how to get over that fear, which is hugely important.
Good man. All right. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Just going to stop record now. All right. Cool. That's the
How was that?
recording bit done. Legend. Yeah, mate. Good. Absolutely grand. Yeah, I think it's trying to do those ones where obviously people can get very well conscious. They're being interviewed. They're not sure how to answer it, or have you. But just free flowing, being able to just say exactly what you want, and then yeah, I think it flowed pretty well, mate. So yeah, thank you very much for that.
Good. Well, hopefully there's some good material in there. You can take out the sort of emotional side of things. But yeah, if you look back on it and go, you know what, we could do better. Happy to do it again, or happy to pick up key questions. Because you know what it's like. You'll go through it and go, right, Andrew didn't hit home on the key cell, which is me, enough in different areas. So just say, right, let's ask this question again and bring in these sort of key words.
Yeah, I think I try not to overthink these. I've done these before, and it does eat into so much time, like the editing part, being like, all right, that could be better, this could be better, or this, and then before you know it, what you actually got, it's only your opinion. So it's just being able to, right, if I'm watching this as we alluded to, as a Johnson, as a Ewan, those kinds of people, one, two young kids, one other guy who kind of, gets in his own way a little bit, let's be honest. I've been like, right, okay, cool. How do I digest that and go, well, maybe this is for me, or maybe it's just a case of one point hit home, and then in 6 months' time, 3 months' time, they're like,
Yeah.
do you know what? Fuck it. I've just had enough now. And seeing Parsons, who's a mate of mine, and going, right, well, he's had such, good success, then I think it's time for me. But not necessarily people we know, but people watching that over Christmas, they'll have a bit more time and go, shit, do you know what? That's basically me.
Yeah,
I need to.
I mean, I think that scared. I wanted to bring out, people being scared of what's next, and people being scared of not changing something. If that makes sense, because I think at our age now we're a bit worried. We're more worried. In your sort of early 30s, late 20s, you're like, you know what, I'll be fine. Whereas now, I think people are looking at themselves and going, fuck, I'm not in the physical or mental state that I really need to be. And that's why I wanted to bring the term of burnout. Am I burnt out? If I didn't do this, I would burn out. And it sounds weird to say you've got to bring more in to stop yourself burning out, but it's true. You've got to do more of different things. Otherwise, if you do your day job and you just sit in your ass in the evening, that's all you're thinking about.
And that's it. And I think a lot of people they use maybe a stage and go, right, well, 10 years ago, I was doing squash, then I was doing touch rugby, hitting the gym twice a week and go for a run on Saturday. Now I'm doing feckle
Zero.
and I've got no energy. You're like, well, hang on. You've obviously got to, when you do more, you've got more energy because your body's used to obviously producing it. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. And I think I don't think there's any point where you didn't hit home on at all. So no, thank you very much for that, mate.
Good man.
So I'll chisel some down, and then by the sounds of it, I'll see you on Saturday, I think.
Oh yeah, we're coming to yours on Saturday, to Ali's, which is good. I'll keep you updated with my progress this week. As we know, we put in Friday afternoon. We're going to put in stuff on Wednesday.
Sure.
Today, I'm thinking I've got today, Monday, Tuesday, obviously. We did the circuit yesterday. Do you think I should do a indoor cycle today?
Let me
What have I done? I've been to the gym 3 times. I've cycled. No, I've been to the gym twice or 3. I can't remember. I think I've been to the gym 3 times. And I've cycled twice. So yeah, that's 5. Had the rest day on Friday. Do you think I'd do a little cycle, indoor cycle?
So yeah, Monday, leg curls, legs. Tuesday, little whip. Wednesday
was push pull.
Push pull. Thursday you did another one, a little Zwift. Yeah, Friday you had off. Saturday morning you did that. Okay. Yeah, you could do a little Zwift or like a little cheeky out how the legs feel. Maybe just like if the weather's shite outside, maybe not a run.
The weather's absolutely rubbish. I mean, I think I might just do a little sweat session because the legs are feeling okay. I think yesterday's session was interesting. It was, I thought it was going to be cardio-wise. I thought I was going to be absolutely wrecked, but I wasn't, which is good. It was just the mental focus and the stability. It's the core, which I probably, what you've seen with me over the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks in the gym is I haven't done a lot of that core work, which I probably worked on yesterday. So I think today I need to drink a lot. I feel dehydrated after yesterday's session, actually, which is quite interesting. So drink a lot. I might just do a cycle and try and flush through that sort of bit of fatigue, basically, on the bike.
Yeah, I think that's very wise. Another kind of like, bacon rolls and sugar cookie. What's this all about?
Bacon rolls and sugar cookie.
Yeah.
That was just the event name. They always put these funny names in.
Yeah, and then save your beans for potentially tomorrow because this one is the full body beasting 2. That's going to be similar ilk. That's going to fare away.
So what have we got? Clean deadlift, single arm dumbbell press, fine. Dumbbell side lunge.
This is quite tricky.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that. Let's preview that one.
This will sort out your hips like no end, mate.
Oh God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you can do.
These are sort of exercises which absolutely kill me because it's not like it's heavy. It's just the mobility side of things. Is anything mobility absolutely hits me hard.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and that's why seeing you and your hips don't lie, Shakira hips, mate. I think it's one of those things that you want to start off with that body weight, and the only thing with this guy is when he comes down, his shoulders round. Ideally, we want to try and keep them there. So if anything, you can actually have the dumbbells on top of your shoulders.
On your shoulders, okay. So that keeps your head up as well. So you stop your spine coming over.
Exactly. Or you can just grab a bar, like a 10-kilo barbell, and put it as like a back squat. And it just keeps your chest and your shoulders up. So it's not a bad shout. But I definitely start there. And you got decline with the twist. The old classic.
I'm fine with that. That's going to be excellent. I love these now. The simple thing with that twisting is, like you said, it's just getting that elbow to the floor, which has really helped. So getting that other one at the 90 degrees.
Yeah, especially, I mean, I think you want to do alternate, but it's almost this tube as well, is to try and open up the chest. Because
Yeah,
I think a lot of people do that and then they'll curve their neck in. So it's like opening up, rotating round, and then just driving the elbow down towards that opposing hip. And
yeah,
I mean, your hip flexors will kick in pretty quick. With the farmer's walk, I was trying to find it actually. You want to do single arm because actually what happens is because you're working the opposite oblique. So if you hold your dumbbell in your left hand, the right side of basically like your corset underneath your ribs is working. So if you just have
readjust.
a heavy one on your right side and keep your shoulders nice and level, because what you're doing is you're counterbalancing it, and it's actually
Okay.
easier with two heavy ones. So you want to have one heavy one on the other side, and just let Matilda look at your shoulders and make sure that they're not fending
Mm,
down. So and just keeping it a little bit away from your pocket, so you're not kind of like swinging it against your hip. That
that's
makes
fine.
sense.
That's absolutely fine. Well, we got that nice walkway.
Exactly. Cable crossover. It's
Yeah,
basically just
happy
like
with
the
those.
lateral raise, but pretty straightforward to be honest, mate. And then I've got the row machine on there, but I was looking for the skio, so you can do exactly the same. So just do
10 sets, 20
20
seconds,
on,
brutal.
fast as
Yeah,
you can, 10 off, times 10.
yeah. Okay, that's fine. That's
Oh, so
the
yeah,
acid test, isn't it?
exactly.
What's that? The acid bath. Have you heard of that workout?
The acid bath.
Yeah,
I have.
it's like a CrossFit thing.
Oh,
CrossFit
yeah.
acid bar workout. CrossFit. It's horrible. Acid bar workout. Something. It's like here we go. It was in the Dubai 2018 thing. 500 meter ski erg, 500 meter row, 1,000 meter bike erg. It's fucking horrendous.
They've introduced one now. I think this guy is he called Rich Fisher or something. And like a predominantly cardio based one. And then there's obviously CrossFit, which includes, doing your PR on a deadlift, then doing a rope climb, then doing a 100
Was High
kilo
Rocks. High
kettlebell
Rocks is
swing.
the new thing. High Rocks is the new
That's
thing.
it.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
so one of my guys in my team, young guys, he went down from Newcastle to London to a High Rocks event last weekend. I think you run a kilometer 6 times, and then in between those kilometers, you do some sort of event. Like it might be a farmer's walk, it might be a row, it might be a ski erg, it might be pulling something or something like that. It's much more cardio based, but it looks brutal.
No, it does indeed, mate. No, I'll have a look through that, mate. And anything, just a nice little light cycle today, I think, just to
Yeah.
get the legs out. So another cookies and cream or a bacon rolls, something of that ilk.
I didn't tell you. I just signed up to. Johnny got me to sign up to a cycling event in March.
Yeah, I was going to say when you mentioned a couple of the because I'll put this on my.
Did I forward you the event?
No, I don't think you did. Yeah, ping it across because so you got one in March. He's doing it as well, is he?
He's doing as well. I got Andrew who did Marmot with me.
Yeah,
And he's going to do it. Johnny's got a few HAC boys doing it, so it should be quite good. It'd be interesting to see, strategy. I think Julie's doing it as well. I mean, I'm not
nice.
going to be hanging about for people, but yeah, I think
Well,
if we can make a good little peloton, I think that'd be quite fun. And if people are struggling, then we can cruise on. But it's 112k, I think. And it's only 1,000 meters of climbing. So if I look at that, it's always all these events is all about the climbing, and I do 1,000 meters of climbing in normally 50 kilometers. So it's. Do you remember I did the one in June in London?
yeah,
That was 100 and what was that? That was 160 kilometers. Was it? Anyway, so this should be a good start to the year.
yeah, very
So we've
much
got
so.
something to focus on.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say absolutely. because I think that'd be a good one to to start prepping for like December, to have like, doing these sort of these workouts, and then January being like, right, okay, so you've got what, 4, 8, and then 12, maybe 10 weeks to be like, right,
Yeah.
laser line focus, and then be like, right, cool, I'll try and make sure I come over for it as well, because it'd be good to get a little bit of an experience for that. And it's on there, it's on Paddy's weekend as well, so can have a few froths after, so that's always quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, get a little bit of an understanding of how they work, and yeah, a little
No,
bit of
it's
experience in
very
it.
it's
That'd be
very
good.
boring for the spectator, because if you can
Okay.
imagine, and well, it won't be closed roads, I assume, but yeah, we just go around in our little group, and 6 hours later we finish, or it will be.
117.
So I think actually it only takes.
117K.
Yeah, it only takes. So actually, what am I talking about for 6 hours? I'm thinking about like 160 kilometers. I think that will take us, given it's wet, we'll probably chew around at about 26 kilometers average. So it's about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, I mean that's not too bad. I mean, I'll certainly find something to do in the meantime, or be able to obviously just help the other spectators. I'll have a little digger with me, and Matilda, so I'm sure we'll sort something out.
Yeah, no, definitely. Okay, mate. Well, enjoy your Sunday.
Yeah, you
And
too, buddy. Thank you very much indeed for today. And yeah, we'll touch base obviously within the week.
yeah, definitely, mate. Have a good evening.